All right, guys, assignment number 6. This one's on chapter 19 from the Delmar Industrial Motor Control textbook by Stephen Herman. This is on schematics and wiring diagrams. All right, guys, let's get right into this one. Okay, which type of diagram is most frequently used to troubleshoot a circuit? So you got as-built, wiring diagram, or ladder diagram. So as-built, everybody knows, is your diagrams like when you're completing your job, and it has all your notes as to how you reroute, different conductors and stuff like that. So most likely not going to be using the as-built. The wiring diagram is great because it shows you exactly where everything's wired to, but it doesn't really tell you the logic. So I would say that most of the time when you're troubleshooting something, you're going to be using the ladder diagram. The ladder diagram provides you with the logic behind the circuit there. Number 2, okay, looking at this one, guys, let's go through the sequence of events here. You have a pressure switch here, so this pressure switch will close. Looks like the S coil here is not energized unless we hit this reset push button. It's got a holding contact right here. So S will not be energized at the moment, which means that this will be in its rest state. So when this is closed, then the horn and the red light will illuminate. Then when it opens, then everything goes off, right? Because we break current to everything in the circuit. If it was to close again, then the horn and the red light would turn on. If we hit the reset push button, then this is similar to one of the circuits we were looking at. It turns on the S coil here, right? This is probably a relay. This one has a holding contact, so when we let go of this, then current is still maintained to the relay here. And the relay has one normally closed contact here. So when we press the reset push button, then it silences the horn because it's driving us crazy. And then once the only thing that would turn off the S coil at that point would be the pressure switch opening again. Okay, so referring to the circuit shown in 19.2a, when the pressure switch closes, both the horn and the warning light turn on. Beauty, that's what we figured out as well. When the reset button is pressed, both the horn and warning light continue to operate. Which of the following could not cause this problem? Okay, so watch because it says could not. So it's saying that when we press the reset push button, it should take out the horn, but it's not doing that. So what out of these 4 would be something that would not be something you'd look at? So at this point, the reset button is defective. Okay, possibly, right? These contacts here could be smoked, and it's just not allowing the current to get to the S coil. So that would not be an option, right? Because we're looking for not the cause. Okay, the S relay is defective. Okay, so the actual coil on the relay could be smoked, right? So we're pressing this reset push button all day, but this one has a spike of voltage that's come through, and it's smoked the actual coil. Okay, so not this one. The normally open S contact connected in parallel with the reset button did not close. Possibly. It could be that these contacts right here are smoked as well. Remember that all the contacts have like a silver oxide on them, so they may not make proper contact to allow that current to be maintained to the S coil here. So the one that would not cause the problem would probably be this one. Pressure switch contacts are shorted. So if this turned on, if this closed and then too much inrush happened, then they could be shorted across this point right here. So most likely that would be the one that would not cause that issue there. Number 3, guys. Okay, we looked at something similar to this on the previous quiz, and we figured out that it was a 2-wire. Right at the moment, we have 1, 2, 3 wires going between our area where we have our contactor and our main motor feeds and our stop and our start. Stop here and start here. How do I know that this is the stop? This is a normally closed contact, and this guy right here is a normally open contact. So this is our control circuit for this main motor contactor right here. And at this point we have a stop, we have a start, and we have a holding contact here as well, right? This guy is going to here, and then the other side is being joined to A1 there. So this circuit right here is going to be a 3-wire. We can clearly see that with 1, 2, 3 wires going out to the field. Okay, in the above diagram, when the start push button is pressed, let's see. So when the start push button is pressed, then this is closed. This is closed. So CR1 will energize. It has a holding contact here across the start push button. So press this guy, CR1 turns on, holding contact maintains current to CR1. And then all of these contacts right here correspond to CR1. So at that point, if CR1 is on, then all of these are going to be the opposite state. So let's see, the red light will be off. the green light will be on, and the motor will be on. So best answer there is going to be that CR1 turns on, the stop light turns off, the run light turns on, and the motor turns on. Okay, so nice easy circuits. On the test, we'll build up with nice easy circuits, and then we'll get to disgustingly hard circuits that you have to work through as well. Number 5, okay, back to this previous circuit here. For the diagram 19.2a, when the pressure switch closes, so when the pressure switch closes, we know that the horn and the red light are energized. The relay S is not energized, right? So relay S energized, no. Horn and red light are energized, yes. Horn and red light are energized, then the red light is de-energized once the reset push button is pressed. The horn and red light are energized, and the red light is de-energized after a 5-second delay. Okay, so it's probably one of these answers right here. And I've gone with the horn and red light are energized. It didn't ask anything about when the reset push button is pressed. It's not a great question here because there's a lot of confusion between these two. Sure, the red... no. The red light is de-energized once the reset push button is pressed. Now, the red light's not de-energized. The horn is de-energized. But if it said the horn is de-energized down here as one of the options, then, then we'd have confusion. Okay, so I screwed myself up on that one. So the horn and the red light are energized. Number 6, guys. In the diagram above, when the temperature switch is closed, so temperature switch is this bad boy right here. All right, so this is like a 3-wire control as well, right? We have a stop, we have some form of start, we have a holding contact. Okay, so that's going to go to CR2, and it looks like CR2 has a holding contact to keep it on, and when CR2 turns on, then the alarm is going to be energized as well. Okay, so when the temperature switch closes, CR2 is energized, and the alarm turns on. And let's see what happens up here in this portion of the circuit. Up here we have CR1. It also has a stop, start, and holding contact. And it looks like when CR2 is energized, then this is going to open. When this opens, it kills power to the power on relay. So at that point, when this guy's off, then these contacts corresponding to CR1 are going to change state. So at that point, the red light's going to be on. The heater control, no, sorry. I'm backwards again, sorry. CR1 is on, and then that means that we are de-energizing CR1, right? De-energizing CR1, so that means that these are going to go back to the rest state. Okay, so back again. Temperature switch closes, CR2 turns on, holding contact for CR2, alarm turns on, and then when CR2 turns on, then it kicks out CR1 because this is going to open, killing power to CR1, and at that point the green light is on, the red light is off, and the heater control is off. So best answer there is that the alarm is energized, the red light and the heater are turned off, so red light and heater are turned off because they have normally open contacts, and the green light is turned on. So just take your time, go through these circuits. You can see that you can easily screw yourself up if you go a little bit too fast there. And we were assuming here in this circuit that the push button 1 had been pressed and that the power on relay had been energized. Okay, let's go on to number 7, guys. Okay, for these guys, we're just looking at AND and OR logic, so just hammering this into your head. For the diagram above, S1 and S2, so S1 and S2 both need to be pressed in order for this red push button, this red pilot light to be turned on. So that means that this and this need to be pressed in order for this to turn on. An AND circuit is depicted here. Okay, so S1 and S2 are the equivalent of an AND circuit. Okay, so now we're down to this guy, so B or D for our answer here. And then they're asking about S3 and S4. So this push button will energize this relay, and this push button will also energize this relay. So this or this will be able to energize the coil. So best answer there is that the first set are an AND logic, and S3 and S4 are an OR logic. Number 8, guys. Okay, so here's our series circuit or AND logic. So this and this need to be pressed in order for the light to turn on. So we've got logic tables here. So you need to find out the one that corresponds to the series circuit. So have a look at this one, guys, and see if you can figure out which one it is. For this one, we need to have both pressed in order for the output to be turned on, right? So A being a 1 and B being a 1 to turn it on. So this is clearly not our answer. This is clearly not our answer. So we're down to this guy or this guy. And we know that if neither is pressed, then we get a 0, right? So if neither is pressed, we get a 0. If one is pressed, then we get a 0. And if the other is pressed, we get a 0, meaning that if only one is pressed. So the best answer there would be D, right? In that if both are not pressed, you get a 0. If only one is pressed, you get a 0. When only one is pressed, you get a 0. You need to press both push buttons in order to get the output to turn on. Okay, let's take a look at the parallel circuit now. So one or the other will be able to energize the output there. Okay, obviously if we have neither being pressed, then the output's not going to energize. So look at this one. Neither being pressed needs a 0. So this is not this one. Could be this one. Could be this one, but definitely not this one. If both push buttons are not pressed, it's saying that the output turns on. So now we're down to B or C for our answer. And we know that if either is pressed, it will turn on. Looks good. And if we were to press both of them, then obviously one is going to energize it before the other. But definitely if we hit both push buttons, then the output's going to be turned on. So I think C is our best answer there, guys. Okay, and then finally another diagram that I've grabbed from Google here. If 1M motor and 2M motor are both energized, so if this guy and this guy are both energized, so that would mean that the start push button had been pressed, turning on 1M, holding contact to keep that guy on. 1M also has a holding contact down here for 2M, and if this start push button had been pressed and the pressure switch had been closed, then 2M would be on, closing this one. 1M's already on, so we have sustained current to 2M. Okay, so if they're both energized and the pressure switch is in the closed position, okay, that's what we said, they'd have to be in the closed position for 2M to be on, and the oil pump stop push button is pressed. Where's that? Oil pump stop push button is pressed. Okay, so that would mean that 1M and 2M are on. We press this stop push button, which kills power to 1M, right, which drops this out. And 1M also has a normally open contact that will revert back to its rest state here. So that'll kill power to 2M as well. Okay, so for this one, the best answer would be that 1M and 2M are going to be de-energized. All right, guys, some pretty simple circuits so far, but hopefully you're getting the gist of it. We're going to build up to more complicated circuits the closer that we get to our test time. All right, guys, thanks very much for your patience. We'll see you guys on the next video.